Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a quick look at UK100 for this morning. It is Thursday, 2nd of July, okay? So let's have a quick look at this. As you know, this market is just being very choppy, up and down, range bound, nothing much going on. So ideally, we're just looking at it on a 4-hour time frame. Just to pay a lot of attention to this, there is a gap over here, which will attract a lot of buyers. You know, we need gaps closed. Sometimes people just buy towards gap close. Looking at it on a daily, as you can just see, there's not much direction. Every time we come into this zone, we sell off again and we hold in this area. So therefore, if anything, I do see a little bit of a W shape. So we got a down, up, down, up, down, up. And as you can see, we're creating higher lows and higher highs. As far as this is going, are we creating another higher high? Are we're still inside? Obviously, as you can see, we're higher than that, we're lower than this. So for today, just looking at it from this point, you know, just be very, very neutral. Nothing much going on the UK100. No clear direction, no clear trend at the moment. It is just choppy, choppy, choppy left and right. Wherever you look, you come down, you go back up, you come back down, you go back up, and then as you can see. So I would definitely just mark up a couple of areas. Not financial advice, please. This is educational purposes. As you can see on a 4-hour, I'm just looking at this zone. Every time the market is coming there, if the 4-hour ends in this zone and is not able to break above 10, 5, 4, 3 pepperstone numbers, then obviously the market could be going back down again. So as you can see now, we've had a big move to the upside, and we usually do these moves and we give it back in. Then every time we've come into the zone, we've been selling off. So are we going to break out today, or are we going to do another U-turn back to the downside? As you can see, and when we look at the bottom side over here, this area is also a nice area of interest. So these market conditions are the best market conditions that I love, because usually I like to just be in and out of the market. You know, there is no clear direction. You don't need to hold on to anything, and you don't need to do a lot of guesswork. So based on that, let's go down to the 30-minute. As you can see on the 30-minute, we've had a move to the downside. Now we've had a break of structure, maybe a retest of the structure, and see how we behave from here. What I would do today is just pay attention to this area. If UK100 does try to come back in, and if it comes back in and it holds, that's a great area to go long. As I said, always not financial advice, because this market could do anything. That is one way of looking at it. But I've noticed something on the 1 minute. Just looking at the 1 minute here, I can see little gaps formed as this market pumped, like right one. There's one here, and then obviously there's a little gap over here as well. So based on that, if you are careful and you do understand the markets and you watch every time frame just to understand the markets, yes, it can come here and pretend that it's going to go up, but it might come back in and close that gap, or you might even come back and close that other gap. Because we're range bound, anything can happen. So just bear that in mind, and also be very, very vigilant. Today, as you can see there, the volume is quite low. It's only 5 million at the moment. For this 1 hour, that's not a lot of volume, that's not a lot of contracts. Maybe when we get into New York, there's news later on, heavy news in the US, and they've actually pushed it forward for today. It seems like the market is waiting for that. And usually these news comes on a Friday, because the market in the US is closed tomorrow. So they pushed it to today, and that tells you, as you know, the US are going on holiday, the celebration of 250 years of United States of America, July 4th. When they push when they push a news a day forward, it means they know it's good news, and the market's gonna love it. And that's what Trump wants. He wants to go into the holiday weekend celebrating the Great American 250, with the market being up. So these are just speculations, and these are things that we've seen over and over again. Again, we don't want to go ahead of ourselves, and we don't want to say things that might not be true, but that's just how I look at things. And I'm like, all right, so today the market, as you can see, like I'm watching it, the futures market, you know, the NASDAQ has already been selling off quite a bit. So this could be this is a nice area. If the NASDAQ does come back above that, it is going to start pumping to the upside. And as you can see, we've created a lot of stairs to the downside, and usually for me this just means equal highs. There's a lot of stops and there's a lot of money all the way up to here. So based on that, this could be a trap for today. The news, we don't know what the market is going to do, but usually that they pushed it forward, it's very, very worrying for me, because if it was bad news, they would just let it roll to next week and be like, all right, we'll push it to next Friday. We don't need people to go into the holiday weekend and celebrations with bad news. But since it's good news, Trump is going to probably, he's already got a tweet ready and he's already told the insiders, after the news drops, so I'm going to say something about, say something about it. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think I went into too much speculations at the moment. I do apologize for that. Let's get back to the UK100. UK100 also, as you can see, now this is a drop, but we weren't able to break this low. Are we going to create a lower high and then come back in? Well, that's one way of looking at it, and the other way of looking at it is that we've just been going up. Are we going to go back up and close that gap? So we're inside, no bias. Please stay vigilant, stay neutral, and on this market, just take whatever you can. As you can see, I would let this 4-hour end here, see how it ends, and then maybe in the next 4 hour we're going to go on to London, New York, and that's where I'll be looking at taking one position in and testing the market out. Hope you have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the week.